What's going on, guys and gals? My name's Jason with Market Ladder, and today I want to run you through a quick demo of the SEO Checkmark software. Now, before we get into it, I want to talk real quick about who this software is best for. If you're looking to write blogs, articles, or pages for your website that are expertly crafted to rank higher in Google, then SEO Checkmark is designed for you. The brilliance of the product is that it takes years of industry insight and tons of search engine optimization research, and it puts it all together in a very user-friendly package that's easy to understand and easy to use no matter what your skill level is. Here's the fun part. If at any point during this video you want to give SEO Checkmark a try, I'm going to put a link down below to an absolutely 100% free trial for you to get in there and check things out. Now, with that said, let's jump into the demo. Alrighty, so what I've gone ahead and done is I've installed the SEO Checkmark software, and I've opened up Microsoft Word to a test article that I wrote specifically for this demo. And because I love food, the test article is on the best burger in Dallas, Texas. I've also gone through the article and I've messed quite a few things up. I've made some major and minor SEO mistakes in the article, so that way when we run the checker, we're going to be able to kind of get to see it work in action. So when you open Microsoft Word, SEO Checkmark is going to pop up. It's also going to be available up here on the ribbon. You can close it, minimize it, all that fun stuff, but we're going to leave it open today because we're going to use it. So the first question you get asked is, what type of content are you writing? And SEO Checkmark supports several different types of content. And the reason for this is that the rules and the checks that you might use on, let's say, like a product description are going to be wildly different than the ones that you would use on a blog, or possibly that you would use on a technical blog, or maybe on like a static page that's going to stay on your website for a while. And so we wanted you to be able to, we want the program to support all those different types of content. So for this one, we're going to select blog post general. There's also an option here for I don't know yet. So if you're brand new to SEO and you're like, hey, I'm just putting words on a page, I don't know what it's called, totally fine. You can select I don't know yet. It takes a bit more of a general approach to things, but it's still going to help you to write better content that's going to be poised to rank better. So again, we selected blog post general. The next thing here is, what keywords are you targeting? And here you can put in your main keyword or phrase, and then you can put in your secondary keywords. So our primary keyword or phrase for this one is going to be best burger in Dallas. And then our secondary keywords, we're going to go with great burger in Dallas, and then we'll do top burger in Dallas. The next thing is, what is your website's home address? And the reason it asks this is to help with linking, internal and external links. And so for the sake of this, my name again is Jason, and I have created a fictitious burger restaurant that I fictitiously own in Dallas, Texas, called Jason's Burger Barn. And our website is jasonsburgerbarn.com. Alrighty, so we put that information in. And the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to hit the Analyze Now button. You're going to get a quick little pop-up that's going to tell you things are working. And the checker is running through and running the series of checks. And the results spit out here onto the right. So let's walk through what it shows us, and then we'll kind of fix some things and we'll run the checker again. So the first thing you're going to see up top is an overall SEO score out of 100. We got a 47, not so great, but that's what we expected based off of kind of what we did to this content. Below that score, you've got a report card for 5 different categories, and those categories are the ones that make up that top score. You've got keyword usage, readability, structure, link usage, and length. And then below that, you've got content type, so you can remember what you selected, what rule set. Primary keyword, we picked best burger in Dallas, and then it's got the total word count. Now, for each of these sections, as you scroll down through the checker, you're going to have a corresponding section that's got things you did right, things that have to be fixed, and then things that are potential recommendations. So what we'll do is we will start with the keyword usage section. And the first thing you're going to see here is the targeted keyword density. And if you remember, we put in best burger in Dallas, great burger in Dallas, and top burger in Dallas. And what it's going to show you is exactly how many times it's been used, what the keyword density percentage is for that use. And then there's going to be a little toggle over here that you can select, and it'll actually pull up and show you all of the uses for that keyword. And the toggle is actually personally what I use the most. I like to look at the percentage. I like to look at the number of uses, especially if, let's say I'm not writing something for my website, but I'm writing something for a writing client, and they're like, hey, we want to get this used 3 times or whatever. That helps a lot with it. But I like to use the toggle because it allows me to kind of see, you know, how spaced out my keywords are, where they are. And what's cool is you can actually use multiple keywords at once. You can toggle them on and off, all that fun stuff. So you can kind of see where you've put things in. So that's the first section of the keyword usage. And then what you'll notice here is you've got things that are red, you've got things that are green, and things that are an orangish yellow. Red is basically something, hey, this is major, this is something that you need to fix. Green is, hey, you did a great job. And then the orangish yellow is, hey, this is something that you should consider fixing, but there are going to be instances where it's fine how it is. And then you've got your keyword cloud down here, which is something that I think is pretty cool. It's a way to quickly glance and say, all right, what is the gist of this article? And clearly, like, burger is the biggest thing. Dallas is good here. Burgers, you know, we're starting to see kind of an idea of the content. And if you're writing stuff for clients, this is really cool because they love to see it. It gives them just a quick view of, oh, okay, this is what the article is about. So let's go up and look at what the different things are that we have here. And one other quick thing, if you highlight over something, you hover over it, and you don't necessarily understand what it is, it'll actually pop up a descriptor that explains to you what that is and why we think it needs to be fixed, which is really cool, especially if you're a beginner and you're trying to learn and you want to understand why things are happening. That is a pretty awesome feature. So the first thing it tells us here, it says your primary keyword or key phrase, which is Best Burger in Dallas, is not found in your H1 header, which is the article title. Please correct as it's important. All right, so it's telling us that in the title of our article, we didn't use our keyword, our main keyword, which is definitely something that's important. Again, there's a little toggle over here, so we can click this and it'll show us exactly where that error is. And so what we're going to do is let's go through right now and let's just add in Dallas to the end of this. All right. So the next thing here, keyword stuffing police pull over. I know it's cheesy, but you know, gotta have a little fun with this, right? You've used your primary keyword a few too many times too close together. This can indicate to search engines that you're trying to game the system. Please remove a few instances of your primary keyword. So what it's telling us is that we've used Best Burger in Dallas somewhere too close together where it might be something that's going to flag Google as, you know, we're trying to game that system. So we can click the little highlight and we can see right where it is. And this sentence says, the best burger in Dallas is hard to find, but when you find the best burger in Dallas, you're going to know it. That is a pretty terrible sentence to begin with, but you know, we can't be using our keyword like that multiple times in the sentence because it's just looking stuffed. So we'll just change this to, for now, the best sandwich. Wouldn't use that on a real article, but you know, for now, I think that that'll work. So we scroll down and we see the next thing that says you haven't used all of your secondary keywords or keyword phrases at least once. Try and naturally work them all into your content. So this is a really great one that I love, especially if I'm writing something for myself and I've gone through and I've done that research and I found all the keywords that I really want in the content, or a client sends me a list and they're like, hey, these things need to be in there. This is very helpful. And so we go back up here and we see that we haven't used Top Burger in Dallas. We've used it 0 times. So we actually could go back and instead of saying the best sandwich, we could say the top burger in Dallas is hard to find, but what you find, blah, blah, blah. Still a terrible sentence, but you know, we're not going to nitpick on it too much right now. So we scroll further down, says your primary keyword or keyword phrase shows up in your first paragraph. Good job. It's right here. Your primary keyword density is right in the recommended range. High five yourself. And your primary keyword does not show up in any of your subheadings, H2s or H3s. This can be okay, but it's advised to include it in at least one if it fits naturally. So what it's saying is that in all of our subheadings, we don't ever say Best Burger in Dallas. And then depending on who you talk to, some people say that you should be using it in some of your subheadings, and some say that it's not that important. I personally think it's important, but for that reason, we left it as orange so that you know, hey, this is something that I could do, or if I choose not to, then I won't. So we're going to fix that in a minute, but we're going to look at one other thing first because there's a bigger issue that we'll see as we scroll through the checker that we're going to fix first, and then we'll come back and fix that. So again, there's our keyword cloud telling us what the article's about. So next section is readability. And what this does is it runs the Flesch-Kincaid readability analysis, which is the industry standard for web content. And basically what it does is it tells you what grade level the article is written at. And based again on the type of content you're writing, there's a certain grade level that you're going to want to achieve. And for generic blog content and for most things, you're going to want to be around a 7th grade level. And the reason for that is that it's not too dumbed down to where it's not even entertaining to read, but it's not written on too high of a level, too big of words where you cut out a major sect of your audience. This is a big one where if you're writing a technical blog that you can go several grade levels higher without getting a warning from the checker. But for this, it tells us that we did a great job and all that good stuff. So the next section is the structure, right? And this goes into the H1, H2, H3 headings, all that good stuff. And actually, if you hover over it, if that's something that's new to you, you can hover over it and you can learn about it. But it says here that our H header tags seem to be out of order. They need to follow a natural in-order flow. Please rearrange them into the hierarchical order. Excuse me. And the next one says your content has more than one H1 header. It should have only one. Please remove all but one of your headings. So if you come over here, you can see that Jason's Burger Barn in Texas is an H1, but then the title of our article is also an H1. So we're going to select this one and we're going to make it an H2. And then it says things are out of order. And so it always needs to follow a natural flow, which you can learn from the hover. But this goes H1 and then it jumps to an H3, which doesn't make sense. It should be H1, H2, H3. So we're going to change this H3 to an H2. And that should correct the issue. And then coming back here, your primary keyword does not show up in any of your subheadings. We'll just add it into one of them here. We'll just say best burger in Dallas, Texas. Alrighty. So next section is link usage. And says, good, your content has the minimum recommended links. We've got the one link here to jasonsburgerbarn.com. But then it says, all your links are internal. If possible, try adding one external link to your content. Now, if this concept's new to you, again, you can hover over it. Quite a bit there for you to read. Not going to read it to you right now. You can jump into that yourself. But what it's saying is that we have an internal link to somewhere else on our website, but that it's recommending if we want that we could potentially link to somewhere else on the internet to get some authority or whatever. And so I'm just going to randomly, if we went here, we just went google.com and, there we go. Now we've got another link on there. And then the last section here says content, and this goes into the length of the content. There's specific links that it needs to be. All it looks at is minimums. It's not looking at maximums, anything like that. And so it just kind of lets you know if you're like, hey, you probably should put a few more words into this. So we've gone through, we've looked at everything. Our score was a 47. And so if we want to run the checker again, we're going to click back to start. It's going to come back here, and all of our settings are still in here. If we want to change them, we can. But we're going to keep them the same just to see if our fixes fixed anything. So we'll hit Analyze Now. Checker's going to run again. It's going to run all the same checks with the little pop-up again. And it spits out a score of 100, which is great. A+ in every category. And we scroll down, we look, everything's green. Link usage is fixed. All of our structure issues are fixed. Ease of reading still the same. We've used all our keywords. Again, if we want to look at them all, we can highlight them all that. And so now we've got a score of 100, A+ here. And so if you're writing this for your own website, you feel great because you're like, all right, this is a much better piece of content. If you're writing this for someone else's website, then you can actually send them a screenshot of this if you want and let them know, hey, check this out. Everything's good here. Well, that brings us to the end of the SEO Checkmark demo. I hope you were able to gain some insight into exactly how this software works and what it can do for you and your website and your articles to help you to rank higher on Google. I think the coolest thing about this software is that it's robust enough that you can draw meaningful conclusions and take a lot of actionable steps to help your content to rank higher, but it's not so much and it's not too over the top that it has a super steep learning curve and it's just, impossible to use unless you are an absolute expert in SEO. So if you want to give it a try, again, I've got that link below to a free trial. I really think it can do a lot for you no matter where you are in your SEO journey. Again, my name's Jason. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me today.